and welcome back to Cleverness. My name is Michelle and today I have a review for you. Today I'd like to talk to you about The Summer of Skinny Dipping by Amanda Howells. This is a book that I've had for absolutely ages, but I always felt like it needed to be read in the summertime and I've been really putting it off. But with a minor heat wave in the UK recently, I decided that it was time to pick the book up and read it. I really love summery, beachy books, and this one just seemed perfect, a contemporary romance for me to sweep me away. Unfortunately, I was a little bit disappointed with this book. I had really high hopes for it to be really sweet and romantic and just very summery, and it kind of fell flat for me. This story surrounds Mia, this 16-year-old girl, and her parents and her sister are in the Hamptons for the summer, and Mia's really looking forward to this particular summer. She really wants to get away from it all, experience new things, hang out on the beach with her cousin Corinne, who is one of her best friends, and just get over everything. And instead, when she gets to the Hamptons and her cousins are there, it feels as though Corinne has just changed entirely. She has a bit of an attitude. She doesn't pay much attention to Mia. She goes off with her older snotty sister and invites another friend around, and at the start of the book, Mia tries really hard to fit in with Corinne and her friend and her older sister, and she says and does things that she doesn't actually agree with, and it's for the sole purpose of gaining the approval of Corinne. And it was really difficult actually to read this part of the story as Mia's struggling to either stand up for herself and be a little bit different, or to just go along with the crowd and do and say things that are beneath her. My problem with this part of the story is that I don't feel like it went far enough. Like, we get this sense that there's this friction between Mia and Corinne, and this sort of struggle that Mia has internally about what she should really be doing and saying. And I feel like it just didn't dig deep enough into those feelings and those conflicts for me. The romance aspect of the book seemed as though it was going to be a little bit more satisfying, in that the main character, Mia, goes off on these strolls at night along the beach, and she meets Simon, this boy who lives next door to her family's holiday cottage thing, and they get to talking, they get to know each other. He eventually convinces her to go skinny dipping, and it's at the start of the book we do get this sort of prologue or whatever about Mia looking back on this summer, and she's telling us, you know, there are some summers that are so unforgettable and memorable, and this was one of them for me. And I kind of got it, you know. Simon has come into Mia's life at the right point. He sort of helps her to realize that being different and not being with the in crowd is okay, and that she's a cool person even without the approval of the others. But at the same time, I didn't really care very much about Mia as a character. I kind of liked Simon, but only in a, yeah, you know, he's alright out of all the rest of them, but I wanted there to be more, just more in general. I felt like everything that they bring up stays at a very surface level. You know, there's problems with Mia and her family, her relationship with her aunt kind of struggles. Obviously this thing with Corinne is a major aspect of the story. I did like all of Mia's thoughts and conclusions about her relationship with her ex-boyfriend. But I think that was the problem for me. I mostly just liked this book. It was okay, and I finished it, and it was just... yeah, so I finished that. Now I can move on to something else. Whereas I think that it had the potential to be more. I thought that Mia and Simon's relationship could have been a lot more emotional than it was. I think if there had been some sort of more major conflict and something between Mia and Corinne, it would have been more interesting. I would have wanted Mia to have brought up some of her feelings a little bit more instead of just keeping them internal thoughts. So while I found it to be an interesting read in parts, it wasn't a book that will remain with me for any great length of time, unfortunately. But those are just my thoughts. If you've read this book, let me know, and if you have any suggestions for really cute, summery, beachy reads, leave me a comment. I would love to know. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.